History is filled with bizarre, fascinating, and downright hilarious sports and games that would make even the most imaginative game designers of today raise an eyebrow. From events that seem like something out of a Monty Python sketch, to games that feel like they were concocted after one too many pints at the local tavern, these activities showcase the peculiarities of human creativity and our eternal love for competition. Before diving in, remember, if you enjoy learning about oddities like these, hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss out on more bizarre historical discoveries. Now, let's dive into the quirks of history. 1. Shin kicking. England's most brutal footsie. Imagine two grown men standing toe-to-toe, stuffing hay into their trousers for protection, and then proceeding to kick each other's shins as hard as possible. Welcome to the bizarre world of shin kicking, a sport that hails from 17th century England. Shin kicking was a central event in the Cotswold Olympics, a precursor to today's Olympic Games, but with significantly more chaos and fewer rules. Participants were required to grip each other's collars and kick until one of them could no longer stand. The winner? The person still hobbling at the end. While it sounds utterly ridiculous, shin kicking was a serious business. Contestants would toughen their shins beforehand by hitting them with hammers or rolling wooden sticks over them. Yes, this was considered preparation, not punishment. 2. Extreme ironing, the sport of laundry daredevils. When people talk about adrenaline sports, extreme ironing doesn't exactly spring to mind. Yet, in the late 1990s, this unusual activity took off as an official sport. Extreme ironing involves ironing clothes in the most extreme and challenging environments imaginable. Mountain cliffs, underwater, while skydiving, or even on the back of a moving vehicle. Why did this become a thing? Legend has it that a man named Phil Shaw found himself torn between completing household chores and pursuing outdoor adventures. Instead of choosing one, he combined both, and extreme ironing was born. It's hard to imagine an ancient Roman gladiator looking at this and thinking, yep, this is what we fought for. But hey, one person's necessity is another's niche sport. 3. Ferret legging, because why not? Leave it to the English to invent a sport that involves shoving ferrets down your trousers and seeing who can last the longest without letting them out. Yes, ferret legging was a real competitive activity, especially popular among coal miners in Yorkshire during the 1970s. The rules were simple and sadistic. Contestants would wear trousers tied tightly at the ankles and allow ferrets, sharp-toothed, agile little creatures, to roam freely inside. No undergarments were permitted, and no protective measures could be taken. The goal? Endure the ferret's antics for as long as possible. The record? Over 5 hours. That's not endurance. That's borderline masochism. 4. Pits, the Mayan ball game of death. If you thought modern sports were intense, consider pits, the ancient Mayan ball game. Played on a stone court, participants used their hips, elbows, and knees to keep a heavy rubber ball in motion, aiming to pass it through a vertical hoop set high on a wall. What made pits unique, besides the challenging gameplay, was its connection to Mayan rituals. The stakes were often terrifyingly high, with the losing team occasionally being sacrificed to the gods. Imagine if the losers of the Super Bowl had to make a similar offering. Football might look a lot different today. On the bright side, pits reinforce the importance of teamwork and survival skills. 5. Kabaddi, tag meets full contact. Wrestling. Originating in ancient India, Kabaddi is a combination of tag, wrestling, and holding your breath. Yes, holding your breath is a crucial part of the game. Here's how it works. Players take turns invading the opposing team's side of the court while chanting Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi in one continuous breath. The goal is to tag as many opponents as possible and return to your side without getting tackled and without taking a breath. The game might sound silly, but it requires incredible stamina, strategy, and lung capacity. Today, Kabaddi is still wildly popular in South Asia and has even spawned professional leagues. 6. Chateau à roue, the human hamster wheel race. The French have always been known for their flair and creativity, and Chateau à roue, Castle on Wheels, is a testament to that. In medieval times, villagers would compete to see who could roll an enormous wooden wheel often with a person inside it, through an obstacle course. This wasn't just about brute strength. It was also a test of balance, coordination, and sheer recklessness. If the person inside managed to stay in position without falling out, they were celebrated as heroes. If not, well, they became the village's new punchline. 7. Plunge for distance. Victorian aquatic glory. If you thought swimming was only about speed or synchronized elegance, the Victorians would like to disagree. Enter plunge for distance, a sport where competitors dived into a pool and then floated as far as they could without moving a muscle. No stroking, no kicking, just pure, unadulterated floating. The winner was the person who traveled the farthest before coming to a complete stop. The sport was included in the 1904 Olympics, but quickly faded into obscurity, probably because watching people float in silence isn't the most thrilling spectator experience. 8. Hornissen. Switzerland's fiery golf hybrid. Dubbed the Swiss national sport, Hornissen is like golf, baseball, and Angry Birds had a chaotic love child. Players use a whip-like rod to hit a puck, called a hornis, sending it flying through the air at high speeds. The opposing team's job is to knock it down mid-flight using large wooden paddles. Hornissen dates back to the 17th century and remains popular in rural Switzerland. It's not just a test of skill, but also a test of nerve. As the hornis travels so fast, it's been known to cause injuries. Safety helmets are fortunately now mandatory. 9. Elephant polo. The king's game with a twist. Think, regular polo is tough? Try playing it while riding an elephant. Elephant polo originated in India and quickly became a popular pastime among British colonials in the early 20th century. The game involves elephants, long mallets, and a whole lot of patience from both humans and elephants. Despite its absurdity, elephant polo gained traction and even had a world championship, though concerns over animal welfare have led to its decline in recent years. 10. Botaoshi. Japan's Tower of Chaos. Imagine capture the flag, but replace the flag with a giant wooden pole and add 100 screaming participants per team. That's Botaoshi, a Japanese sport traditionally played by military cadets. The objective? One team defends the pole, trying to keep it upright, while the other team does everything in its power to topple it. Players climb, shove, and form human pyramids in a chaotic melee that's equal parts strategy and pandemonium. With its sheer intensity and organized chaos, Botaoshi remains a spectacle of athleticism and insanity. Conclusion. The world of sports is far more diverse and absurd than one might imagine. From shin kicking to floating in pools, human ingenuity has turned the mundane into the competitive, and the competitive into the downright strange. These odd sports and games remind us that sometimes it's not about winning or losing. It's about having a laugh and creating memories. If you enjoyed this journey through history's quirkiest competitions, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more where this came from, and you won't want to miss it. See you in the next adventure.